The Guy, Sharyn and Clint podcast.
Hello everybody, welcome along to the Guy, Sharyn and Clint podcast. Today we did an AMA, an Ask Me Anything, with a real life stripper. And of course with the radio there's certain things you can say and you can't say. But I thought to introduce the podcast today we could go behind the scenes a little bit, issue a warning and say this bit might be a little... R16 maybe? R18
Maybe.
perhaps, but ask some of the questions that we couldn't ask on the radio of Taylor.
Welcome to the studio, Taylor. Thanks so
Hi.
much for joining us. Sharyn, you had the first R18 question via a friend's text message, I believe.
She asked me if I feel really awkward asking this, but you know when you go into the movies and they have a nude scene, you have to stand in front of the director and they're like, "Nah, I don't really like your boobs and your vagina's a bit weird." When you're a stripper, do they have to look and be like, "Good boobs, good body, she looks tidy down there as well, boom, you're in"? Or is it like, how do they decide?
Well, yeah, you kind of have to look good. Like, I knew a friend and she had a kid and she got asked if she was breastfeeding because her boobs were a bit saggy, I think. And yeah, they didn't want her to work at the bar anymore. It was just a topless job, this one.
Oh, right.
But yeah, I think it's pretty important to have good boobs.
Awesome.
So-
Not saying mine are great, but
I wouldn't
How do you respond to
complain.
that, eh? Oh, you've got great boobs.
lots of strippers have like big fake boobs. But actually, I don't know,
Okay, there's a question. Do you have real boobs or fake boobs?
real boobs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
I want a question. Do you think your value as a stripper decreases as you get older because you get older, or increases because you get better at stripping?
Ooh.
Good question.
Yeah, you definitely get better the more you do it, but then, you don't want like an old stripper lady on you, so you gotta look
Even
good.
if she is a pro, eh? It's kind of like Madonna. She's real. She's got her thing down pat, but she's a bit over the hill now.
We don't want to see you in your little panties.
How old do you think you'll go stripping? How long?
I don't know, I'm not saying I'll do it till, like my boss, she reckons you can kind of do it till you're like 30,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure how long I'll do it, as long as I enjoy it.
Is it fun? That's a big
It
common
is
question.
fun. It is fun.
Because is it like a thrill of everyone looking at you and being like the star?
And it's okay to say that.
I actually don't pay attention to anyone but the person I'm dancing on, because I think that would phase me out a bit.
Yeah. So you don't worry about the whole crowd.
No.
Someone's texted in, do you get turned on? Like, is it like, do you feel like
No.
you don't feel like up for it afterwards?
No, it's definitely just a job, and I'm knackered, like dancing for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
knackered.
yeah. It's actually not easy. I've had to dance for 3 minutes before, and I've been tired.
One other thing that I thought was, and I thought you said it off air, and I thought that it was a really cool thing that you said was, because my husband said this to me before, and I thought he was lying, where when guys get strippers at their stag do or whatever, usually the girl will be like, "No, you can't have one, rah, rah," and the guy will say, No, you don't get it. It's more for the boys than for the actual stag. Is that true?
It's definitely true. Like, the stag's half the time he doesn't even want to sit in the chair. He has to be dragged to sit in the chair, and sometimes into it, but usually, all the boys love it. They love it when you, like, whip the guy.
Yeah.
The stag's not into that at all. He hates the beatings.
I had a friend who got taken to the White House for his stag do, and the strippers, if they know it's your stag, they get you up on stage there.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm telling you this. You probably already know. You're the professional. They do this thing where they drip candle wax on you.
Yeah.
He ended up getting, what's the bad one, first degree or third degree? Third degree is a bad one.
Really?
He ended up getting first degree or second degree burns on his chest. And then he got an infection because he was burnt so bad, and he got married with like a big sheet of plaster across his chest under his shirt
Amazing.
because the stripper had ruined him so much.
Yeah, and his wife,
terrible.
and he had one of those wives that was like, "Do not get
Oh,
a stripper."
She was not up for
She
it.
was not up for the yarn.
Has it? So on the back of that, has it ever gone terribly wrong? Have you ever had one like this is a disaster? The guy's freaked out or something like that?
I did a like 2-girl show once, and the girl decided to get out her shaving cream, and what you do is you pour the shaving cream on the guy, and then you light the shaving cream with a lighter.
I've
and
seen
then,
that.
And then they rub their hand, and it looks all cool with fire. But anyway, she was doing that, and she flicked some of the burning shaving cream into his eye.
Amazing!
Oh my god!
Oh no! And like honestly, it was terrible. Like
That is a bad time.
That is a bad
You
she
can't.
didn't look good at all, and she was quite old as well. She was like 30-something, and she didn't look that great and just wasn't a good show at all.
Taylor, you've given us a priceless insight into the world of stripping, and we thank you very much for that.
All good.
There's more of Taylor in today's podcast. Listen out for our AMA, which comes about halfway through. Very interesting. But again, Taylor, thank you.
Woohoo!
Guy, Sharyn, and Clint.
Afternoon, everybody. Welcome along to the show. Guy, Sharyn, and Clint. If you listen...
Sharon is vacuuming the studio.
If you listen carefully...
Don't vacuum my dick. Unnecessary.
The studio's a bit of a mess. We've just had new lights put in here.
Oh, mate, don't brag about them. Oh, you bloody radio hosts up in Auckland bragging about your new lights. Oh, wow, we can see our studio real good.
Well, what I was going to say is that you'd never realise until you see with some lights. Don't try and vacuum my tongue.
Ponce stuck up, Ponsonby snob.
How
with their
dirty
new
it is
lights.
in here.
Stop that. Leave me alone. Stop it. Stop it.
Guy, Sharyn, and Clint on the edge.
There is a cat named Tara that is going viral on the internet today.
Not just any cat, Sharyn, a hero cat.
Any way that we can use Mariah Carey's Hero, we're going to find it. So basically what happened, there was a young boy who was outside on his tricycle, just tricycling around, and then out of nowhere, this dog comes, and he just starts, like, running around. He sees the child, and he's like, hello, child, and then runs up to him and goes, arr, 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 grabs it by its leg, starts dragging it around. All of a sudden, Tara the cat comes out of nowhere, pounces on the dog, and is like, wow, you get away from my friend, you little dog.
Full kung fu cat, too.
Yeah, jumps on the dog, and the dog just starts running, and the cat chases the dog off. The great news is the son only has, not only, but has quite a severe dog bite. Had to get a few stitches, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse as if it wasn't for hero cat Tara.
The cat genuinely was a hero, and I think it's quite amazing.
Sorry, every time you refer to its hero status, I have to...
It almost kamikazed its way, and it just literally launched its full weight into the dog like a tackle.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before in my life. I didn't realise a cat had this in them.
I always thought that cats, all they cared about was getting fed, lapping some milk, and having a good time by themselves until this video.
It's almost as if you could say that the cat was a hero. Like, I've never seen an animal that was so heroic in its heroism.
If this cat...
Which reminds me of 9/11 and the heroes who are involved in that situation.
It's an automatic setting we've got set on the desk.
Do you know who's a Kiwi hero? Richie McCaw.
If Richie McCaw was a cat, he would be Tara the hero cat.
Are you sick of this yet, Clint? Are you
quite
regretting this
confusing.
decision?
This afternoon, I think we need to just
Celebrate
the heroes that some of us own. There are heroic animals all over the country, and let's celebrate them this afternoon by talking about hero animals. 0800 The Edge, or text us to 3343. We want to hear about your animal, the hero.
Oh, God!
You've done a really bad remix now.
Definitely not my parents' cat Patsy, who is absolutely useless and couldn't save its food from a fire.
What should we call this cat? I think it looks like Patsy.
If you know Absolutely Fabulous, and you know the character Patsy, and you know my parents' cat, then you'll understand.
Okay,
Patsy.
Everyone listening knows your parents' cat, Patsy. They know what Patsy's like.
Chang just sent me a message saying the phones aren't working, so text us right now with
Chang, what's going on with the phone? Your one job is to make the phones work.
Call us with your hero... Text us with your hero animal stories.
Get on Facebook.
The heroic animal in your life.
It's lucky we still have the text machine, which is always blowing up.
My favourite one is the anti-bullying cat that someone has texted in. They had a cat in their house, and every time their brothers was mean to them or said a mean word to them, the cat would come and be like, oh, no, you didn't. Meow, 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 like scratch the brothers and kind of make the brothers go away by attacking them.
That's amazing. I've got one even more amazing than that. And this comes from the text machine. One night, a boxer dog woke us up barking and running around in our room. We tried to stop him barking, but he kept on doing it, so he led us to our 2-year-old daughter's room. She had vomited in her sleep and not woken up. We had to get her up and clean her up. Our dog is a hero. She could have choked to death. Our girl is now 11, and our boxer just passed away at 12 years old.
That is amazing. I've actually got another one like that. It says, my dog woke me up, and that's all from the text machine. My dog woke me up while I was unconscious and was hemorrhaging at 28 weeks pregnant.
Wow.
It pulled at me, barking, licking, and nipping me, and now my 22-year-old son is alive, and we could have died in a remote West Aussie village.
It's quite amazing because dogs especially, and cats as well, they do sense when things aren't right. Now, whether it is something really extreme or whether if it's just something small, like with our dog, whenever...
I can't imagine your dog being a hero. I can imagine your dog would just like have an asthma attack through its breathing problems.
up.
Warren G.
And then just fall over.
Shut up. Well, our dog has before, like, she's just senses things like when something isn't right. And so we've heard people like out in our house, and she doesn't bark. She's just pretty much silent all the time. And she heard somebody outside and she started barking, which scared those people away. But if we fight, my husband and I are both, hard to believe, we're yellers when we fight. And so afterwards, she'll always come to me straight away, like checking if I'm okay, because we've just yelled at each other. But they just sense all these things, and they're very protective of their owners.
What does your poor husband have? He gets nothing. You get the dog.
Because he knows I'm right, and dog knows I'm right too. Every time.
Hero animals are a real thing. If you want to see the video that we've described, but it's way better to watch it, actually see the video. We've just posted the YouTube video on the Guy, Sharyn and Clint Facebook page.
Go and look it up.
Pretty amazing viewing. The cat is a real life hero, and that's why that video is going viral today.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint on the Edge.
Guys, I've just found the best Twitter account of all time. Maybe I'm slow on this. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
Did you just begin following me? Like, I've been on Twitter for a few years, mate.
It's Jaden Smith. If you don't know who Jaden Smith is, you probably know Will Smith. He's a famous actor with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
No.
He was also the Karate Kid. He was the Karate Kid when they redid Karate Kid.
Who are we trying to explain to Clint?
Jaden Smith.
We're trying to explain Will Smith.
Still getting around Will Smith.
Okay,
You know Will Smith,
the rapper
in West Philadelphia, born
No,
and
don't
raised.
don't start
Boom,
rapping
boom,
that.
shake, shake the room.
Oh, I know that
Boom,
song. Yeah.
boom.
It's a classic.
Nailed it. But Jaden Smith is the one that's going out with Kylie Jenner from the Kardashians, and also he was the Karate Kid.
How old is he, do you think?
He's like 17, I think.
His Twitter account is like that of a 12-year-old. And he is spitting some hot fire on the old interwebs, guys.
Ooh, no, he
If
did.
you don't have a Twitter account, it's almost worth following him just for him. Just follow one account. It's at Official Jaden. He's called himself Official Jaden, as if there's other people out there who will make an unofficial Jaden account and pretend. Maybe they would. I guess there's mental people out there everywhere. I love how New Zealand celebrities call themselves like Eric Young is the real Eric Young.
Yes.
This is the Prime
It's 'cause
News guy.
there was a parody account of Eric Young. Though.
Yeah, but
No, there wasn't.
The Eric Young one, the worst stuff to come out of Twitter
yeah.
was actually from the real Eric
He's
Young.
actually the real Eric Young's done some terrible stuff.
He's the one who got in trouble via Twitter. He's almost better to going, oh, that was the fake one.
Jaden Smith is 15 years old, for the record.
Okay, well, 15 years old with a lot of money. I'm guessing he's a millionaire.
Would be, yeah.
And a lot of opinions that he thinks the world needs to hear. And these are some of my favourite Jaden Smith tweets. For example, the other day he tweeted, "How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real?"
What?
What?
Amazing. Another great philosophy from the amazing Jaden Smith. If newborn babies could speak, they would probably be the most intelligent beings on planet Earth.
What?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not.
He rants against school. Do you think he goes to school?
I think he does correspondence school.
He reckons school is a tool to brainwash the youth.
Okay, it sounds like someone that's recently doing trigonometry or algebra and sitting in maths going, when am I going to use this in real life?
Here's some relationship advice. People think a relationship makes you whole. That's two 50% coming together to make 100%, when really it should be two 100% making 200%. That's genuine.
Okay.
That's good. That's good.
That one was actually okay.
Yeah.
At least it made sense.
It kind of made sense.
Well, his role models are his parents that have an open marriage, so.
True.
Good role models.
There could be 400% in that
Yeah, there's
relationship.
400% in that.
I think my favourite one is, how can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real? He's got a lot of eye-based ones, though. Water in the eyes and alcohols in the eyes are pretty much the same. I know this from first-hand experience.
Why did he put alcohol in his eyes?
And why? Well, why does it? Surely it's not the same. Surely alcohol's all sticky.
But who cares? Like, I'm not going to not believe you.
Unawareness is only Unawareness is the only sin. That is amazing coming from a guy who seems so unaware. It's amazing. Unawareness is the only sin, and if you were aware, then you would know.
Because my thing with the eye thing you were saying before about looking in the mirror, and I am aware before I say this sounds really, really dumb.
Okay.
But they always
Say it anyway, babes.
They say your eyes, when they look at things, they actually look at them upside down and they turn them around the right way for you. Does that mean that we're really sitting upside down?
That you should tweet that and you'd get on this lever.
That is what I would like to know, Jaden Smith.
If you want to follow the account, it is
At official Jaden. Check it out. He's the new Kanye West of Twitter. I'm telling you what, this guy spits nothing but gold.
Guy, Sharyn, and Clint. On the edge.
Yesterday, on How Does It Feel, Chang experienced what it feels like to shoot yourself in the foot.
He did it with a paintball gun. It happened at 5 o'clock on the show yesterday. And if you missed it, it sounded a little bit like this.
3, 2, 1.
It's happened that time.
Did anybody see it?
He got it that time.
I can confirm that he shot himself in the foot.
Okay, that's a real pain.
That's real.
That really hurt.
If you're wondering why I don't sound that enthused or excited or disgusted by the whole situation, it's because that was the highlight of the second time Chang shot himself in the foot. The first time he missed his foot and then proceeded to writhe around on the floor in more pain than I've ever seen in my life, to the point where I was genuinely worried about his health and safety. He faked the first attempt.
It totally missed my foot. The first
I was
attempt.
so nervous for you, and it was all fake. So the second time I was like, yeah, finally, he's done it. So it's hard to even feel sorry for you now, Chang.
Oh, why? I was bleeding quite a lot.
You
That was
were.
a lot of blood. I lost almost like half a pint.
You don't
Oh, shut
So,
up.
Chang, what we've got you in here for now is the other side of How Does It Feel, and to find out how it felt overnight and how it feels now. So, first of all, what was it like afterwards?
It was very painful. I had to put an ice pack on it, and there was a lot of blood, like lots of blood. And it was actually black. If I didn't put the ice on it, it would have gone black. So
Did you resent doing it or get angry at us for making you do it?
no. I just could not pull the trigger.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
So that's the hardest thing about shooting yourself in the foot.
Pulling the trigger.
Pulling the trigger yourself.
Like the hardest part about bungee jumping is actually jumping.
Throwing yourself out there.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
what other part of bungee jumping, Clint, is hard? The bit where you just lifelessly get boinged around at the end of the bridge?
The hardest bit is when you have to, if you go to the one on the Harbour Bridge, you have to pull a little thing and it flips you back around the other way. That's really scary. And
Yeah,
some
good
of us
point.
come back up upside down
Good point.
Sharon?
because they're too scared.
Like a fish being dragged out of the ocean by its butt.
You've been paintballed a million times, Chang, and you've got some hideous welt scars. Do you think this one that you inflicted on yourself will scar?
This one will definitely leave a mark, because this is probably the closest it's ever been.
It's memorable, though, eh?
You mean close range?
Yeah, close range. And you know what's the worst thing?
You were going to say close range, weren't you?
I wear jandals, and it's actually really hard
Yeah.
to walk in jandals.
That was my other question. Do you think maybe this will teach you to wear shoes now because your feet are
No.
very sensitive?
No, I wanted to breathe.
You rock
So I don't
around.
want to put it in shoes.
No, but you rock around the office every day with no shoes on, and you have dirty, manky feet.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
My feet is probably the cleanest thing on my body.
I'll tell you what, Chang, you're never going to be able to wear those Stella McCartney pumps ever again. There's a life of flats for you now. If you want to see the video, it's online now at theedge.co.nz. There's photos from it on our Facebook page if you search Guy, Sharyn and Clint on Facebook.
Guy, Sharyn, and Clint. On the edge.
Our poor little boy Clint has been moping around today because he has found out something disturbing about his favourite takeaway place by his house, which he has been going to frequently over the last 2 to 3 months.
If you know Auckland, you'll know Dominion Road, and you'll know there's a lot of really cheap, really delicious, largely Asian places to go and eat. And you try and find your diamond in the rough, and that's the one you go to all the time.
I think it's the best thing about Auckland. I'm not a huge Auckland fan. I've had to move up here from the South Island, unfortunately.
Go back
But the
then.
thing I'd recommend... Oh, I like Auckland, and I've got a job here. I don't know why you're going to be so mean to me. Anyway, the thing I'd recommend to people about Auckland who are a little bit sceptical like me is the Dominion Road cheap Asian eats, because they are off the hook.
And I have been recommending them non-stop. This one in particular that I cottoned onto to all my friends going, I've found the spot. Me and my flatmates are like, go there all the time. You've got to go. It's cheap. It's delicious.
Please tell me it's not the Korean barbecue place because it...
No, it's not that. No.
thank God, 'cause I love that place.
I'm not going to say what it is. Should I say what it is?
You may as well, mate. They'll be right. They'll enjoy the free advertising.
Well, it's not good advertising, but I guess any publicity is is good publicity. It's called Spicy House.
Spicy House.
Oh, I love Spicy House.
Do you really?
Yes, it's delicious.
I went there last night.
Yeah.
And they are now displaying a D.
So they went
window.
backwards.
What?
Yeah. I don't know what they had before. I didn't look. And
Yeah,
I
they might have
suppose you
always
should
been a
look.
D.
No, because I tweeted about it last night, and about 3 people came back to me, and they're like, "You're talking about that place." I don't want to keep saying their name. So it's a new development. So I thought maybe, because do you actually understand? You just automatically assume I should only be eating at places that are A's, right? Mm-hmm. You go, even if it had a B, you'd be like, "Oh, who's been pooing in the sink there?" So I thought I'd have a look and see what the ratings actually meant.
Yeah.
Weirdly, it's very hard to get an actual description of what each of those things means and what you have to do to get it. It's really hard to find it. I've been doing a lot of Googling around different district council websites.
Don't they write underneath the rating the things that you failed on?
Yeah.
So that people that go there know what you failed on?
So I couldn't figure out exactly what you have to do to get a D, but I did find an article from a dumpling place, a real famous Auckland dumpling place that last year, and it's just up the road from this place as well, they ended up getting a D, and that was big news.
Yeah, that's Barilla. And they went back to an A like straight up. That's what happens with these places. When they get a D, they go straight back.
They'll sort it out. But I've been eating there, and you don't know how long it's been since they've been reviewed.
Barilla was legendary. Barilla was it's one of my favourite dumpling places in Auckland. They were storing dumplings in a bathroom.
Yes. So
how great is that?
That's where I've got the context from. They got a D,
yeah.
And to give it some context, these are what they got a D for. They got it for 12 things, but some of the more interesting ones, shed in backyard used to prepare and store food. Food stored in a toilet isolation lobby.
Amazing.
Hot water supply disrupted between taps and dishwasher, so you could only have hot water to the taps or the dishwasher.
Fair enough. It's not easy to get hot water.
Food handlers wear dirty aprons and do not use hair restraints.
I do that at home.
But you're not selling food. Overcrowding in
God.
kitchen, food stored and prepared next to wastewater drain, and poor general cleaning practices.
Do you want to know, after you've read the list out of someone that fell for a D, do you want to know something else about your favourite place?
What?
Someone just texted in, also a regular of the same place.
Yeah.
It got an E last year.
Oh, God.
So it's gotten better.
It's gotten better. So
they've moved up to a D.
But the thing is that I have this amazing fish and chip shop around the corner from me at my house. If it had a D, I don't care if it's got whatever in there because I still love it every time.
It's a secret.
It's
the secret to good food is cutting corners, isn't it?
It could, but that's the thing. It could just be one dodgy person in that workplace cutting a corner.
Yeah.
And then it got them down there. I'll probably not.
Everyone does it. On this radio station, I cut corners every day. I just don't tell you guys because otherwise you guys will find out. I'm glad no one's judging me.
Should we take some phone calls this afternoon on what you're doing in your workplace to cut corners? Doesn't have to be in a restaurant. It can be anywhere, but if it got found out, it would be bad. It could be dangerous. It'll give your company a bad reputation. But what corners are you cutting?
When we used to get real busy at Pizza Haven, we're supposed to change the water every certain amount of pans. I'd just be like, hell no, girl. I'm just going to keep going with this dirty water.
Pizza Haven are not around anymore, and that's why.
Yeah, my bad.
People are texting in with their great ways of cutting corner. It's what makes us human. Cutting corners at New World, I used to put all the stock forward. I used to pull all the stock forward in the aisle to make it look like I'd done my job.
I used to do that at the gas station,
Classic move. I was once washing dishes and I put 2 whole trays of fish in the soapy water accidentally, but then I just pulled it out and we just shoved it in the frying pan. Turned out all G.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good work. At work, we have a big bucket filled with sugar syrup and to be used in cocktails. Unfortunately, it gets ants in there, obviously.
Yeah.
But we just scoop out the ants and it's all G.
Guys, don't want to be a rebel or anything, but to cut corners, when I used to work at Woolworths in Tawa, this guy used to use the inside broom outside. Woo!
Did you get in trouble for that?
Sure did. Got
Sharyn,
a warning.
You're off the handle, mate. Someone needs to arrest you away. Surely some callers have got some better cut corners than that.
Yeah, on the phones.
Alice, what do you do to cut corners at your work?
When I worked at a restaurant, we had an ant attack one night.
An ant attack?
Yeah, so
awesome.
the ants got into everything, and there was a bottle of Baileys, and the ants got into the Baileys.
Yeah.
So instead of tipping out the Baileys, chucking it out, my manager poured it through a sieve to get out the ants.
That's disgusting.
Yuck. And I also just want to just put out there, when you said there was an ant attack, I imagined all of the ants wearing army helmets with backpacks and they were all going into the Bailey.
Thanks, Alice.
Steve, sounds naughty already with that name. What are you doing to cut corners at your workplace?
No.
Man, you've got me. My girdle's all tight now. Watch out, you three. Okay, calm down.
Oh, hello, Steve. I know Steve. Hello, Steve.
Steve, tell us, how do you cut corners at your workplace, Steve?
Okay, well, I feel really bad for saying this, but I'm a barista, and when people come and order coffee who are a bit, podge, I give them a trim coffee because I want to help them. But the ironic part is that I'm podge, and I hate the fat milk and biscuits. So I condemn them. I'm like, you can't have no hot chocolate with fat milk. It's really bad. But hey, someone has to do it. Jenny Clay is going to love me at the end of the day. Don't tell me I'm not doing a good job for them.
Steve, do you let them have the marshmallow, or are you like, hell no, you're not getting that marshmallow as well?
It depends on what they look like and if they've been friendly. But marshmallows are okay. It's the trim milk that I feel I'm doing duty for the fatties.
Steve, do you do it the other way around too? If someone comes in and they're like, this bit, and you're like, this bitch is too skinny, and they ask for a trim, do you give them a full fat just to fatten them up?
Totally, and free sugars, and I say, take that away, you stupid bitch. No, I don't say that. But I do say to them, you need to eat some more because it makes me look really bad because I'm overweight and you're sick.
Steve, we love you, mate. Thank you for the call.
We're not the
Kia ora.
We're not the only ones that love Steve. Our text machine just went mental while Steve was on. Like, Steve just made my day.
Steve.
I love Steve.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint on the Bloody Edge.
Today we're kicking off our most exciting segment yet.
Woo!
That's the sound of excitement right there. While
Sure
Sharyn
is.
eats a baked potato while being excited.
I am excited and eating at the same time.
The segment is an Ask Me Anything, an AMA. It's a popular internet device, which I think is really cool. Basically, we're going to have a combination of famous people, interesting people, anonymous people into the studio to do a no-holds-barred interview.
And our first one that we're having today is an anonymous one, but it is a person with a job that you would just love to ask a million questions to.
I've just had her text me to confirm. She took a little bit of persuading. She thought the idea of coming in to do this was a bit weird and random, but I've told her we'll keep her anonymous because the only way she'll do it is if she remains anonymous, and that's easy enough for us to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what she does?
Yes.
The person we will have in today at 5 o'clock for our first ever AMA is a real-life stripper.
So fascinating.
Chang's just started hooting and hollering in his soundproof booth.
She's not...
Because there's so many things that you could ask that you would want to know, like, do you get paid to stay in shape? What happens afterwards? Do you guys hang out? A whole lot of stuff.
Is it awkward? Have you ever run into your friend's dad or something in the club?
Do you have a boyfriend? What's his take on the whole situation? Is it hard for you to have boyfriends?
I should actually start writing these down.
Yes.
What was that one? Do you have a boyfriend? What's his take? Because that would make...
Make sure you follow it up with that, because if you just say, do you have a boyfriend, it sounds like you're hitting on her.
Okay,
Which
yes.
you probably already know her anyway.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint. Edge.
If you have not seen the video of when JJ, Mike and Dom went to space, then you need to go to theedge.co.nz. I'm going to put it out there, and it's a big call. This is the best video that has ever been done on theedge.co.nz.
In the history of videos.
What about when JJ
It's
got her
so-
boobies out for Jason Derulo?
This
What about when
video
Michael
is-
Jackson did the Thriller concert at Motown in 1987 and
That
did
wasn't on the Edge
Billie
website.
Jean?
That was on the Edge website.
Should be though, eh? What's going on with the Edge website? Why don't we put some better videos on there? Are you just going to go quiet and not? Have I sabotaged this break? Don't lose your confidence. I'll talk about it. If you're into videos that are cool, then you should check out JJ, Mike and Dom going to space. Please don't throw things at me. I'm really nervous for my own safety here. You've gone all quiet and weird.
The video's incredible. They used a weather balloon to ascend to... I don't actually know if these are the technical terms. I'm going to say to the edge of the stratosphere.
Yeah.
They were up 40-odd kilometres in the air.
So, and where we are, we're in like the Earth's atmosphere, and then above that, there's the stratosphere.
Yeah.
And then what's above that? Space.
The exosphere. I don't know.
Did you make up the exosphere?
Sounds legit though.
It sounds like Beyonce
That's
made
how
that
I
up.
trick my girlfriend into thinking I'm smart. She says, I wonder how this happens, and then I give a real plausible reason that I made up, and she's like, "Oh, Clint, you're so smart."
Make eye contact and talk confidently, and you'll get away with anything.
Do you want to know a real stat about it though?
Yeah.
So it went up. The rate of ascension was an hour and a half to reach the top of where it got to. Then the balloon burst. And it plummeted, took half an hour to get back down to the ground, so it came down 3 times as fast. It had a parachute attached to it, which slowed its fall.
Did it take half an hour to fall, though?
Yeah, that's how far. And it was falling fast. It was falling at 7 metres per second.
Wow.
Yeah. The video is incredible, not just for that nerdy stuff, but because you get a view of Hamilton. Hang on, let's go higher than Hamilton. You get a view of the Earth from space, and you can see the actual curvature of the globe.
That'd be pretty funny if we sent a balloon to space and all we got was a good shot of Hamilton. You get the whole side of the Earth. It's off the hook.
The video is online at theedge.co.nz.
Sharon's giving me the silent treatment, and it's really working on me. It's stressing me out hard, and you've got a psychotic grin on your face like you're going to knife me or something.
Sharyn, anything you'd like me to say to Guy for you?
No, I'm. That's fine, Clint. Thank you very much.
Guy,
I don't think it is fine.
She's got nothing to say
honestly,
to you.
the video is absolutely incredible, and when you watch it, the words "wow" will come out of your mouth, and that has never happened to me with a video before. But today, I was sitting at the computer going, "Wow, it's amazing!"
Guy, Sharyn, and Clint on the Edge.
We launch AMA.
This is the segment where we, as a group, will ask someone anything. It's no hold bars. It's anonymous. Anything you want to ask. And today we are doing a bona fide, legitimate stripper.
She's in the studio with us at the moment. We're not going to name her. But anonymous stripper lady, would you like to lean forward to the microphone and just say hello?
Hello.
There you go. That's her. And next, we talk to her. So now is the time to jump on the phones, 0800 The Edge, or text to 3343 with your questions.
Or if you want to do it via Twitter, just use the hashtag GSCShowAMA.
I have got so much stuff that I want to know.
We've been grilling her already with all our questions, so now we've got time for yours.
Yeah, we've got to stop asking these questions because we've got to put them on the radio too.
Mm-hmm.
And you can ask anybody. Go ahead and ask anybody. Yeah, you can ask anybody. Anything. Damn, that was good.
You guys are not in charge of making intros ever again.
Did they tone down my microphone? Because they actually sounded better than I sounded in the studio. I was appalling.
Yeah, we auto-tuned you.
So in studio with us right now, we have a real-life stripper who is going to remain anonymous. We're not going to name you, but I don't want to just call you the stripper. What can we call you?
Do you have a name you go by?
I do. You can call me Taylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the studio, Taylor!
Straight away, I'm going to say I'm glad you didn't say diamond or sapphire.
Or Canda.
Or panda.
No, Candy.
Andy.
Oh,
Let's
Candy.
not-
I thought you said panda the stripper.
Hey guys, let's not beat around the bush. Let's get right into those questions.
There's another one. Good for you.
These are not supposed to be puns, guys. Okay,
He
first
just gets nervous
question
around strippers.
from the text machine. Hi, Guy, Sharyn, and Clint. The question I want to know is why are you a stripper and how did you first get into stripping?
It's good money.
Yeah.
And how did I get into it? I started just doing like bikini stuff and then better money to take off all your clothes.
Did a seedy man trick you into doing it?
A seedy man?
Yeah, that's how I imagine
Like
it in my
creepy.
head.
A seedy man.
A creepy
Oh,
man.
a seedy man.
Yeah, not a CD salesman.
Nah. It was actually a friend who did it.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of gave it a go and then, just kind of started doing it.
And we've got another question that has come in. Do you just do stripping, or do you have another job, or do you study?
Both. I have a normal job and I study as well.
Wow, you're so busy. You're so busy.
What area of industry is your regular job in?
Definitely not the same industry at all.
No. And this is not from anyone, this is from me. Does anyone that you work with at that job know about your other job?
No.
Who
That would
does?
be weird.
Who does know?
Just my friends and
Your parents?
No.
I knew a girl that I went to college with down in Wellington, and she was doing like stag do's and stuff on the weekend, and her dad ended up being in a stag do and like pulling her off the table. Is that one of your biggest fears, being a stripper, that you'll go and like someone you know will be there, or your dad or something like that?
Luckily, my parents live like not in Auckland, so I'm a bit safe like that. So
that's
it's not
good.
too bad.
We've got a question on the phones.
Chris, what's your question?
I was just wondering if the stripper recognised Guy from anywhere.
Do you recognise me?
I actually don't, surprisingly.
Wow. It's surprising
What do
though,
you mean
right?
surprisingly?
Hey, that's because she doesn't work in an actual strip club.
Yeah.
If she worked in a strip club, she would know.
Your stripper friends must know, though, like he is notorious around Auckland, though, right?
Probably.
They call him customer number one.
Thanks, Chris. We should point out while we're here that you don't work in a strip club. You do like house calls, like doing stag do's and parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's if you're going to ask questions about that sort of stuff, then now you know.
But you have worked in a strip club before, though, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Why don't you do strip clubbing anymore?
The environment's different. That's kind of full of seedy guys.
And,
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
very... You sound disappointed, too. Why are you not at my strip club anymore?
Because that's a question that's coming through the machine. Is there any time where someone's too gross or too smelly or too old to want to dance for?
Too drunk. Lots of times too drunk. They can't even stand up
Yeah.
or sit. They can't even sit in the chair properly. Ooh. They fall out of the chair.
And you can ask anybody. Go ahead and ask anybody. Yeah, you can ask anybody. Anything. Damn, that's some good intro.
Sharyn looks disgusted.
I've got a question. We're doing an Ask Me Anything today, and we have got a stripper in studio with us. And I just want to say, is this a low point of your life, having to speak after that intro? It's a bad intro.
Yeah.
Her name, for the sake of the AMA, is Taylor, and we're taking your questions.
From the text machine, do most strippers do drugs?
Do most strippers do drugs? No, I wouldn't say so, but definitely if you're into that, it's definitely easy to do that.
Does it help to be a little bit drunk when you're stripping? Does it ease you into
Nah,
it?
it looks sloppy.
Okay, good
It looks
point.
sloppy.
Because there is quite an art to it. I know there's a lot of girls that are
Surprisingly so.
quite nasty about people that do these jobs, but I somehow ended up at a strip club a few weeks ago, and I just look at these girls going, that is an amazing talent. The things that they like,
Yeah.
you
I
could be
can't
so
actually
strong.
pole dance though. I'm really crap
So
on pole.
on the back of that, what was your first time stripping like? Was it awkward as heck?
I was kind of eased into it. You know, it wasn't just like going in from nothing and then doing it. I sort of progressed up.
Yeah, but with the first time going fully naked, was
I
it
think
an awkward
probably
moment?
wasn't that great.
No?
No.
My question is, and this one has come in a lot on text, what are the safety precautions that you use, especially because you do home like on-call stuff? Do you take a real big, tough guy with you?
Oh, no, I just go me. Or I can take sometimes I take a friend, but that's not very high tech.
Does it feel dangerous?
It doesn't have to be high tech, it just needs to be safe.
Does it feel like those situations feel dangerous?
Everyone's really good.
Yeah.
Everyone's really good.
We've got some questions on the phone as well. First one is from Jason. What did you want to ask Taylor?
How much do you charge?
How much I charge? It's a couple $100 depending what you're wanting.
What are the options?
Well, it sort of goes up from just, a standard naked strip, and then you can get a little bit more interesting and introduce some various other objects into the show or other people.
Okay.
I think you've said enough there. It's very interesting. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Jason?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Cool. Cheers, man.
Sarah, what's your question?
I just wanted to know, do you have a boyfriend, and if so, does he know that you strip?
Do I have a boyfriend? No, I've never had a boyfriend while I've done this.
Is that because you're doing that?
No, though I was seeing a guy last year and he did have a little bit of a problem with it. But generally, people are okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So normally, if you had a boyfriend, you reckon it would be a boyfriend would be fine with dating a stripper?
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely don't think all guys would be okay with dating a stripper at all.
No.
We've got Katrina who has a question as well. Katrina, what do you want to know?
I just want to know how you feel about the stigma that strippers that do stag do's, etc., and strippergrams, that they also do extras. Yeah. What's your opinion on that? You probably
extras.
Don't, but I'm just asking you how you feel about comments like that.
Yeah, that's definitely comes up all the time, like the stigma on stripping. that because you're a stripper, you do other things, and you're a prostitute as well, which is, you know, maybe some women do that, but it's definitely not the overarching stigma of it. So.
And it's not what you do, or it is what you do?
No, I don't.
Okay, we're going to do one more round of questions with Taylor, our stripper, who's in studio for AMA. So your last chance to get your questions
Taylor,
in now.
you're doing a fantastic job, by the way. This is not an easy thing to do. It's like a grilling.
Yeah.
It's like interrogation.
You're nailing it. That's very interesting.
And you can ask anybody. Go ahead and ask anybody. Yeah, you can ask anybody. Anything. Believe it or not, no auto-tune was used in the making of that whatsoever.
Okay, no one did believe that, just letting you know. Pip, what did you want to ask Taylor?
I want to know what is a really good raunchy track to strip to?
I do a lot of Flow Ride. I don't know if that's raunchy, or Rihanna. She's always good, you know, like Good Girl Gone Bad.
That is a really good one. That's because I've noticed that Partition seems to be the latest like lap dancing thing that people are using as well.
Who?
Beyonce.
Like that Partition, but Beyonce song. Try that out next time.
There's a hot tip from Shazgo.
If it goes down well for you, send me some royalties. Michelle, what's your question?
What would you say is your best strip and then your worst strip experience?
My best strip experience. Well, you can always, like, you know when you've done a good show because you can kind of, like, connect with the crowd and everyone's having a good time and stuff. And then I've had, like, really awkward ones where I go there and there's, like, 3 people sitting there and they're all, like, really silent and they don't say anything.
Like if you had to strip for an accounting firm or something and everyone had gone home
Or they're
early.
really sober, or they're, like, 20 years old or something, like 21st. So kind of sometimes a bit awkward.
That would be so awkward.
I couldn't think of anything
Especially because
worse.
Grandma's probably at the 21st as well.
I think I've got the most awkward question of the Ask Me Anything.
Awesome.
Comes from Twitter. Do you ever have to deal with awkward boners?
Actually, no. I've never had a boner. Oh, my God.
Good to know you've got you right, guy?
That's such a nasty
You weren't asking on behalf of you?
Yeah, I'm asking about
Dave, you get to ask now. What's your question?
Hey, Taylor, you're doing a good job on the radio. Hey, if you had a daughter, would you let her strip?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Good question. Good question, Dave.
That's like a long way away from me, but I guess I would probably have to because otherwise I'd be a bit of a hypocrite, wouldn't I?
Yeah, probably. Hey, and one
I
for
don't
the
think I'd
crew.
want to know about it, though.
Yeah, Dave?
What would you rate her out of 10?
She's a 10, Dave.
She's a 10.
superstar.
She's a
Oh,
babe.
yeah.
Dirty old Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Dirty old Dave. Andrew, what's your question?
I was just wondering how far she travels.
How far she travels?
Yeah.
Are you looking?
How far she'll travel?
Are you looking to book her?
Oh, maybe.
Where are you?
Oh, Waikaria.
Where's that?
You're in prison.
Nah, we live just up the road.
That sounds like a fun place to visit.
Legitimate question though. How far would you drive for a job?
Well, the client pays travel, so I've gone as far as Napier.
Wow.
I've gone right up to Bay of Islands.
Why would you go that far? Do they know you from Auckland and want to travel you because they like you so much?
Well, there's most of the strippers are based in Auckland, so you kind of have to travel.
Do you have regular clients?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Because really, you just go to one stag do. They're not going to get married again. You know?
That's such a good point. All right, thank you, Andrew.
Any other questions?
I have to ask this one because it's come in so much. What's the most money you've made in a night?
The most money I've made in a night, probably $2,000.
$2,000. This is going to be like an advertisement for all the young ladies out there. Like, I should be getting to stripping. Would you recommend it? Well, that's actually a good question. Would you recommend it?
I think, yeah. I mean, especially, for me, when you're studying, it's fantastic. You can do your study and then have time. And
do you think you'll ever be like a grown-up professional woman using your degree and you'll regret this time in your life, though? Do you think you'll have any regrets?
I don't think so. No.
Is it fun?
It is fun. It is fun. I met some good people.
This has been so interesting.
It's been fascinating.
We're going to get so much feedback on this, both ways as well. Some people are quite prudish and I think they'll get quite upset about the whole thing, but for me it's been absolutely eye-opening. So our initial real AMA, we did it with Ed Sheeran, but this is the first real one. Taylor, thank you so much.
You've been wonderful. Taylor, ladies and gentlemen!
One last question from Chang, who's a very cheap man. Do you pay your taxes?
Thanks for coming in.
If you missed the AMA with Taylor, the stripper who came in to do it, the whole thing, plus some unedited bits, some of the stuff that couldn't go on the radio, is going to be in tonight's podcast, which goes online at 7 p.m.
I'm worried that this is going to be an advert for young girls to start stripping, because she had quite a positive view on things as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you're saying. I thought that halfway through. There might be mums with daughters going, can't have the edge on right now. She makes it sound too good a job.
Too appealing. And
but the whole idea of AMA is that it's honest, right?
Yeah, it definitely was honest. People should definitely check that out on the podcast. But I had my similar sort of stripping experience, which made me realise that I could never, ever do stripping. Even though I've taken my clothes off for television quite a few times, I've never got fully nude. But I did do a nude photo shoot on the weekend.
That's right, because you told us a little while ago there is a magazine, a nationally distributed magazine.
Non-pornographic magazine, by the way, just a normal magazine.
That wants to put you on the cover
naked.
Nude.
Yeah, and it's a tricky situation, because I'm the kind of guy that just feel like, well, anything for the publicity, whatever you want. If you're going to put me on the cover, then I'll do it naked. I'll do whatever you want.
Be careful what you say, because people will approach you.
Yeah.
Performance Car Magazine will be in touch next going, Guy, we'd like to get you draped across the bonnet of a Honda Prelude, naked.
So I've kind of seen the photos thus far, and I can't imagine it being a good idea. It is funny to see me naked, and it's add to the funniness. I'm adorned with various scuba diving and snorkeling equipment. So, for example, around my leg I had a knife strapped on there. I had an aqua lung that I was breathing through at one stage. And one of the main nude photo they took, if they do go fully nude, is me sitting almost spread-legged with a aqua lung, an oxygen tank. You're looking at me with such disgust, Clint.
I'm just so interested.
An oxygen tank in between my legs.
Yeah.
And when I saw that photo, because I got bad posture and stuff, it's not an attractive shot.
Yeah.
I'm not even even to my full potential. I don't know what I am at my full potential. I'm not at my full potential. There's no makeup, by the way, as well.
Okay.
Normally when I do a photo shoot, for TV3 or something, there'd be with the Edge. When the Edge does a photo shoot, there's makeup.
I've got some questions for you.
Yeah.
When you in the weeks leading up to this, did you do any dieting or exercise?
No. That's the funny thing. I'm the kind of guy that would do that as well, but I didn't. I had too much crap on.
Okay, more questions.
I was in Christchurch the night before, and I got room service chocolate sundae, and the next morning I had to do it.
Next question: did you manscape?
No. That was the other problem.
You went Aaron Smith on it.
No, because I looked at it and I thought about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not too bad, and I'd rather be hairy and gross than manscaped and gross. I'd rather be someone who looks like they've tried.
Yeah.
There's nothing grosser for me than a man who's shaved like a chin strap on his beard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's nothing worse than seeing a dude with trimmed pubes or something like that.
There probably is a dude with too many pubes. Okay, my last question. For the shoot and some of the photos.
This is like an Ask Me Anything, but for me now. And I'm the stripper.
I'm weirdly interested. For the photos, and are there any photos that exist somewhere, full wanger out?
No.
No? Always covered by something?
Yeah, I think so. Well, hopefully. There could be some accidental slippages.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But there wasn't one where you were just starfish, hey, here's little guy.
Just because I wouldn't do that, and there was okay, on set, there's a male photographer, a female director of photography, a female camera assistant who's looking at the shots in high res on a monitor.
Yeah.
There's no way I could handle that.
Amazing.
Yeah. Sharyn, you look beautiful. Sharon's all dolled up and she's ready to go off. Can I just say you look fantastic?
Oh, thanks, guys.
That's genuinely a really lovely dress, so good luck.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint. Edge.
I feel like we've all been in that position where you have a thought in your head that you know might be stupid, but you're so intrigued you want to ask it anyway.
Or it's either that happens or it doesn't pass your filter and you spit it out before you realise how dumb it is.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing you could possibly ask. It happens to everyone. My mum the other day asked, what time is the midday news on? It happens all the time. There's a great site called Yahoo Answers where a lot of people go to ask their dumb questions because you can ask anonymously.
Yes.
And the way this works is that the internet will hopefully answer the question for you.
And then berate you for how stupid you are.
Basically, that's normally what happens. And they've compiled a list of the stupidest Yahoo Answer questions of all time. And they're pretty fantastic. There's a million of them. But they include things like, do midgets have night vision?
What?
Are skeletons real or made up? How do I know if I'm the real mother of a kid?
What?
And that's been asked a number of times. There's a few of those. Are there any autographs of Jesus Christ?
Oh, yeah.
I actually think that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm actually like, are there any? Like, if he was a real man.
I guess back then you weren't collecting autographs.
No, but like
there were no red carpet events where you could go to get Jesus' autograph.
Jesus over here. Quick picture, quick question. No.
Jesus, can I get a selfie?
No, but Jesus, he must have written something at some stage. Was he literate? Other good dumb questions. Why do crocodiles walk so gay? One of my favourites. If Harry Potter's parents are dead, how did he get born?
That is good.
That's fantastic.
That's
so
really good.
I thought we'd open this up to the audience. I was like, hey, guys out there, far out. I learned how to say whānau the other day and I just said it wrong. It's whānau.
There you go.
Whānau. People in the wider community, what's the dumbest thing you've ever been asked? 0800 The Edge.
Charlotte, what's the dumbest thing you've ever been asked?
Hi. So I'm a nursing student, and
Right.
you know how you always have that one person in class who maybe has not really found their forte in life?
Yes.
And we were doing human anatomy, and she sits there and she's like, looking a bit confused, puts her hand up, she's like, I'm going to ask it. And we're all like, here we go. And she very, very seriously says, so you know how females have that hole in their pelvis that the baby goes through when it's being born?
Wow.
Do men have that?
Wow.
And the nurse looks at her, like the lecturer looks at her and goes, yes, or they would die. And everyone in the class is like,
yeah, that's the nurse you don't want to get when you're rushed to hospital and you're about to give birth and the doctor is busy and you get that nurse.
That is so amazing.
All right.
Yeah, well, she's not in the class anymore. If that makes you feel any better.
Thank you, Charlotte. Glenn, what's the dumbest question you've ever been asked?
Stupidest thing I've ever seen was someone asked, I have a 2.6 kg MacBook Air. If I keep downloading millions of files, will it get heavier? So I answered, yes, I've downloaded millions of files. Mine weighs a ton now. I need a forklift to carry it from the lounge to my bedroom.
And did they believe you?
I think they did, actually.
That's too good. Thanks, Glenn. One more. Jason, what's the dumbest question you've ever been asked?
Oh, my mother was doing night shift and she rang me up to record one of your programs back in the VHS days, and she actually inquired to me how long the program 60 Minutes went for.
That is so good that it sounds made up.
Yeah.
No, she actually rang me to make sure I had enough room on the videotape to record the whole program for her, so she asked me how long the program was.
That is awesome.
Someone once asked me, it was JJ Feeney. JJ Feeney asked me what time John Bennett 10 is on. So we got the worst questions on Yahoo Answers of all time. And some of them are pretty fantastic. Questions that come up on Yahoo Answers are things like, how do you get spaghetti stains out of underwear? Do you think humans will ever walk on the sun?
Wow.
What happens if you paint your teeth white with nail polish? Is throwing hair in the garbage safe?
So the people asking these questions, apart from the hair one, like the nail polish one, we should actually step back and stop ridiculing them and be grateful that they actually asked the question. Because at least then they got an answer and they didn't go and paint their teeth rather than just going, I've got an idea.
Yeah, good point.
I'm going to paint my teeth white with nail polish. Something in them has paused to go, let's ask someone first before I do this. Chances are the person who saw it, the first person who saw it was like, yes, totally safe, go for it, do it, please upload a photo.
Here's a great one. Is it possible to make toast in a microwave? Please, I'm craving toast, brackets, pregnant, and at work. How is that lady capable of having a baby? It's probably not possible. We've got
Zach, oh, sorry, he's here. Zach, what's the dumbest thing you've ever been asked?
I work in the TAB, and we have this gambler in there all the time, and he's always putting his bets on. And we're sitting there having a chat, and he goes to us and the boys, he goes, when the winner's in the front, it wins.
Yeah.
Great.
And can I answer one more thing? You know the guy that was going about his MacBook getting heavy when you download files?
Yeah.
If you download a certain amount of files, your computer can actually get 0.001 gram heavier.
No, it can't.
It can.
It's just data.
Yeah, through data, but it has to be a ridiculous amount of data downloaded, though.
I think you just end up putting like skin fragments and things into your laptop. Or depending on what you're downloading, you could be putting other kind of bodily stuff into your laptop, and that can make it get heavier. If you're downloading that much stuff, anyway.
A little bit of a spurt making it heavier.
Thanks, Zach. Rebecca, what's the dumbest question you've ever been asked?
Hi, I work at Briscoe's, and whenever we have Midnight Madness sales, we have people calling up what time the sale finishes.
Midnight Madness. Yeah. A dumb question to bring and ask Briscoe's too is there a sale on at the moment?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks, Rebecca.
Thanks.
I was just. Oh my god. Okay. Am I allowed to say sperm?
Yeah.
Because the question is,
am I allowed to say sperm? Well, I just realised what a dumb thing that is. I just said the dumbest thing. I just asked for permission on air on what to say. Well, I'm sorry I said that. At least it was just sperm.
This might be a little bit rude, but my friend was afraid of swimming in the pool. She asked, swimming in the ocean, sorry. She said she only swims in the pool because she's worried that she'll get pregnant from whale sperm in the sea. That is amazing. Sorry for reading that out. I once asked a friend, here's some cleaner ones. I once asked a friend what ICY stood for, only to realise that it's spelt icy. I'm a girl and I have a twin brother, and I've been asked so many times, are you guys identical? And one final guy, my friend once seriously asked me, what's Obama's last name? I love stupidity. It's my favourite thing.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint.
Don't get too excited, guys, but today is Budget Day.
That is sounding me falling out of my chair.
Are we getting?
Let's get naked. Let's smash stuff. Let's go crazy and wild. It's Budget Day.
Are we getting tax cuts?
Are we getting tax cuts?
Wow,
that's an exciting question. No, there's been no tax cuts. A small surplus in the budget, which is good news.
That's why I never vote National.
Chang's political views come out. Are you voting for? That's very interesting. It's a real personal question, Chang.
I'm not going to answer it.
Who do you vote for?
You just ruled out one of the major parties.
So not National.
Winston Peters? No.
He doesn't even want you in the country.
Okay, I'm limited to. I've got weird things that you vote like extreme right wing. Do you vote ACT?
The Internet Party.
I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, if Kim.com sent you some free stuff, you'd vote. You'd vote.
Yeah, free Wi-Fi. I'm there.
If Kim.com promised free Wi-Fi for everyone, you'd vote for the Internet Party.
Oh yeah, hell yeah!
I think everyone would vote. If free Wi-Fi for everyone, I'd vote for the Internet Party. Man. That's a good offer. I honestly think this is a serious opinion here. I think the government should provide Wi-Fi like they provide running water, or it should be a government.
Yeah, I think it's coming.
Yeah, if you live in Auckland, you still have to pay for your water. The rest of the country don't have to pay for their water.
It should be a human necessity. Like poor people, like if you're an underprivileged kid and your family doesn't have Wi-Fi, you should have the government, because it holds you back at school if you don't have.
Well, these days you need access to the internet to be on a level playing field.
Yeah, and also, how do poor kids do all the other cool things on the internet, like go on MySpace and stuff?
MySpace.
We thought on Budget Day we would get the man who we know who lives on the tightest budget to come in and offer us some of his money-saving tips. It's been a regular feature before until Sharyn demanded that we can it. It's called Chang's money-saving tips.
Oh, yeah. I've got some really good ones today. You know toilet papers?
Yeah.
A lot of people have more than one ply, don't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you do, you get the one ply, you separate them, and just use multiple plies on it. No, if you have a two-ply, you separate it, so you have two different ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You don't have to use a
save money
two-ply.
on toilet paper by separating the plies.
Yeah.
So you have single ply.
Yeah, single ply. Do you really need a two-ply, three-ply, or four-ply?
Do you know, Chang, that my dad actually likes your money-saving tips? Doesn't he like any of our awesome segments, like we did an AMA together, or How Does It Feel, or Technolo Guy? Doesn't like our proper segments that we put efforts into. Just like something where Chang comes and tells us how cheap he is.
Have you got any more?
Yeah. Make your own pet food. It's actually not that hard. Pet foods are so expensive.
Yeah.
You just give the dogs and cats your scrapes.
Your what?
Your leftover food.
Your what?
Scraps. Scrapes. Yeah, scraps. Yeah.
Okay, what sort of scraps do you give them? Because you can't just give them like a bun of bread or some chocolate or something. Like,
well, not chocolate, bun. Yeah, they'll definitely eat it.
A bun?
Yeah.
Feeding your dog a bun?
My dog eats bread every morning.
Coleslaw?
No, my dog eats bread every morning.
The issue is, there has to be leftover food, so I'm not getting as much food. Either that or I'm wasting money buying more food.
I hope the SPCA isn't listening to this because I feel like it's not a good idea to like give the dog like leftover muisli in the morning or something like that.
Oh, it's fine. Another one.
It's genuinely frustrated.
This is good. How to warm up your house?
Yeah.
Oh,
Have
gosh.
black curtains. It keeps the warm air in and keeps the cold air out.
No.
Just darken your whole place, and it'll be
Black
fine.
curtains.
Yeah.
I can imagine it helps a little bit, but it's more expensive to buy new black curtains than it is probably.
That is another edition.
Hang on, I got one more.
We're running out of time. Make it quick.
Okay, if you're at night, like I am, watching TV, switch off the lights. There's no need to switch on the lights.
That's another edition of Chang's Hot Money Saving Tips.
Thanks, Chang.
The Guy, Sharyn and Clint podcast.